ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. The topic we have is fragrance of friendship. Now, first we need to understand what is this word friendship. And in the introduction, Vidya was mentioning that the motto of Inner Wheel is friendship and service. And it is so interesting that they did not put, the order was so nice there. I like the order. First, friendship comes, then comes service. If you have to start serving, fundamental quality you must have inside you is friendship. Friendship, what is there in you, finds its expression in the world as service. So that is why we have these two mottos together, friendship and service. Now, what is this friendship, sir? Why we have to discuss with reference to friendship particularly? You would find in the world, people have relationships. And you will never find every one of us have all relationships. Something we will be missing in our life. Take in my case, I've been brought up with a joint family system where we were 15 of us in the house. But I never had a younger sister. I didn't know what is the meaning of having a younger sister. I have an elder sister, I have an elder brother, I have younger brothers, but I don't have younger sister. Now, what does that mean? Some of us may say, sir, I don't have brother, sister itself. No siblings at all. Some will say, sir, I've never had this one. I never had that one. Some of us may even say that, sir, I never knew what it is to have a mother, what it is to have a father. Something or the other will be missing. But you will never find a single individual in the world where he would say, I never had a friend in my life. Friendship is the only relationship which is universal. No other relationship you can claim as universal. Because there are a lot of people who would say, sir, I don't know what it is to have a mother also. Now, what we will do with them? But everyone will say, I had a friend, I had been a friend. Now, why is it that we cannot escape from this relationship? Even love relationship we can escape from. Before marriage, I never knew what it is to love somebody. After marriage only, I had forced to love my wife. I'm just giving example. Okay. Don't quote me, please. Just an example I'm saying. Some of us say, sir, that's the same case for me also. Okay, I never had love relationship. But everyone had that friendship relationship. That accounts for one dimension of friendship, which is universal. One. Second dimension about friendship is, which is so unique, which is not there for any other relationship, including love relationship also. That is, only with the friend you can go on talking, still not enough. You would never get exhausted in terms of topics. See, you see these kids, you would know. I don't know about your at this age what is this condition and all that, but You can distinctly see that with the teenagers. They will be sitting in the school and talking. In the classroom, they will be talking with that friend. They come back from school together, they talk. They come, just leave the bag, go out and still talk. And they talk, 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 talk. You call them for dinner. They come with that friend. They eat. That fellow says, no, no, ma, I will have in my house. You say, okay, have one dosa. He has one dosa and he goes. And then your son says what? I'll go to his house and drop him and come back. He goes to his house, drops, comes back. Night 11 o'clock, he comes back. Next day morning, again they start a conversation. Whereas, you people go for weddings, no? Relatives' weddings. Cousins they meet. Some of you also will be meeting your people. You meet them after 5 years. Okay. How long you talk? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? After that, suddenly the topic will switch over to politics. What's happening here? What's happening there? No connection to you or that person. How is it that in friendship alone we are able to have something which is cherished by every one of us? Everyone cherishes this friendship relationship. And what is so interesting is, it's the same person who is a cousin also. It is that same person who is a neighbor also. It is the same person who is a nephew. It is the same individual. But that same person, when he comes and sits as a relative, it looks very different. That same person sits as a friend, it looks very different. What makes? That is what I call as the fragrance of friendship. There is something in that texture, in that fragrance is so enchanting, so enamoring for us that we cannot escape that. You cannot miss it. When you miss that, you feel a loss. That is because only in that relationship, known to the whole human, where there is no utility attached. What is the use of this person is not the thought, is not the idea on which that relationship stands. That non-utilitarian attitude that we have with reference to that relationship. Barring friendship, we don't know any other relationship where there is no utility. Don't get me wrong, including mother-child. There is a utility. You cannot say there is no utility. There is utility. Now, why this relationship is cherished? Because no utility there. What is the proof of that? Only your friend can afford to stand non-judgmental with reference to you. Only that person, he or she. I'm just using the word he, okay? Because I'm just used to that word he. That person alone you can take as a friend. That is why it is easy to develop a friendship at a younger age. The school friends are bond is so strong. You come to college, strong enough. You come to official, it is just a working relationship only. That is why the moment your old colleague leaves that company and goes to another company, that's it. After that, there is no contact. After that, we don't care what that person is doing, what is happening there. Nothing. We don't really enjoy that. Why? Over a period of time, we start calculating what is the use. In school, absolutely no calculation. We don't calculate and take this person to be my friend. I don't calculate. This person is such a charming fellow. So one day he will become a big hero. And after becoming a big hero, he will become a big politician. He is a very smart guy. He will start a business. Once he starts a big business, I can take up a job. Nothing of no thought at all. He doesn't know what I'm going to be. I don't know what he is going to be. As a result of which, both of us contact each other. Because friendship gets built on a foundation of equality. Unless you have something equal, unless I see the other person as equal to me in some terms, in any terms it can be in terms of status, it could be in terms of positions, or it could be in terms of intelligence. You will never find a brilliant man, a CEO of a company is in friendship with a peon. You can see that in movies, okay, but not in reality. In reality, that will not work. If at all there is something, means it must have been cultivated, it must have been created much, much before. Maybe those two fellows were college students, studied together. Then it is possible. Why? When that relationship gets formed, both were students. Today he is there, he is here. That is a different thing. But when it is formed, what was the equation, sir? Equality. That moment equality comes, non-utilitarian comes, means no judgment. A friendship means non-judgmental relationship. The other will not be judging you every time. Right now, I am speaking to you. Every one of you are judging me. Is he making sense? Is he speaking well? I am making judgment of you. Are you all listening to me or not? Are you all following me or not? Are you all a good student or not? Is what? I will keep that judgment going. You will have your own judging scale. I will have my own judging scale. Only relationship in the world where we know of. There is another relationship where it is not, which is not accessible to us. Therefore, there is no point in talking about it here. The known relationship for all of us is friendship, where there is no judgment. Since there is no judgment, you are so free to open up yourself. You don't have to put up a mask. You see, otherwise, everywhere you go, you got to put up a mask. You got to protect yourself. You have to defend yourself. You have to camouflage because you can't expose your weaknesses. The moment you expose your weaknesses to another person, they say, Ishwaran, you are talking too much. It is too much of confusion. Don't worry. I'll just give one simple example. Next time, do this as an experiment itself. Next time, whenever, after this corona and all gets over, you will get a wedding invitation. No, remember at that time. Go to a party. Right? One fellow will come and ask you, how are you? He will ask. Right? Tell him I'm very happy. Corona period is the best period of my life. The last 2 years been the best period of my life is the last 2 years. Look into his eyes. Versus, tell another person, I feel like committing suicide, man. He will pull a chair and sit next to you. You tell him, I am so happy, I am so enjoying life. He will leave you and go. Whereas, you tell a person that, I feel like, dying, no point in living. I don't understand what's the value. Why I'm, alive itself, I'm not thinking. You speak a language of depressive mood. You talk about your weaknesses. immediately the other person will make a note of it. There is a chance of using it against you. Whereas a friend is one who will not make judgment on you. He is not going to judge you based on. That doesn't mean friendship is meant only for partying, just for enjoyment purpose. No. A friend means this. Remember. Now, this question you have to ask yourself. This discussion is not to point out who is your friend. This discussion is to introspect and find out to whom you have been a friend. Is there anyone in your life with whom have you been a friend? Ask this quick question first. When you see your friend making a mistake, doing something which is not agreeable to you, if you express that, if you say that to that person, there is a chance he may sever the relationship. Mark my words very carefully. There is a person, he is making a mistake or she is making a mistake, who you think as your friend, or you make a mistake, the friend comes. If that person were to point out and say what you are doing is wrong, if you say that, there is a risk. What is the risk? The risk is the person will clip you out of contact. They'll block you. Facebook, Instagram, they'll block you, let's say. Right. Will you say that? Would you risk the very relationship for your friend? If your answer is yes, you are a friend. That is called friendship. This is the only relationship which will risk the very relationship for the other person. Other relationships won't risk like that for the other. Friendship is the only relationship where we will find a person risking. I'll give an example, because this one of my friend told me. I was studying in college. I had a group of friends who will go for drinking. Those guys will go, and they'll come to my house. They'll take me also. Right? They'll take me. I tell them, say, I don't drink. They say, just come. Just before entering Pallavaram in Chennai, there used to be a bar there. Just before entering that bar, one of my friends would stop and say, hey, if I see you touching the glass there, I'll kill you. I said, hey, you can drink, I should not drink, is it? There is no. You should not drink, but I will drink. If you drink, that's the end of the relationship. If you are not drinking, if you tell me if you drink, I will not relate to you, I can understand. I said, I was so confused for a long period of time. What is he saying? What is he saying? After a period of time, only I realized a man is willing to risk the relationship for a person. That is called friendship. Such friendship, nature will be what? They say, it's like no moon to full moon. It waxes. There is another type of friendship which wanes from full moon to no moon. It will start off so beautiful. And more you contact, more and more you contact, slowly that excitement starts reducing. Here, more the contact, greater the excitement. That is relationships, friendships which are worthy enough, the quality. So we need to know the quality of it, the type of relationships. Essentially, they say these are all theoretical ideas. You know, essentially, they say there are three types of relationships given by Aristotle. Aristotelian theory. They say friendship purely based off on pleasure. Friendships of utility, mutual. I am useful to you, you are useful to me. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. That's all it means. That is also there. There are some friendships which are based on utility. I am useful to you, same way you are useful to me in some other way. So mutual, benefit. Then you have friendship of virtue, quality. That you can identify by greater the contact, greater the joy. Lower the contact, more the tension. The contrast is the low quality relationships, low quality friendships, how that works. It wanes like full moon to no moon. It keeps reducing, and it just goes away into nothing. So what we have seen is this. What is uniqueness about friendship? It's universal. Number one. Why we cherish? Because non-judgmental and non-utilitarian. 2. 3. What we have seen so far. I'm just repeating what we have seen. Right. What is the texture, the quality of a great friendship, a good friendship? Now we move to one more idea I'll give. Because we just had about half an hour time. So I have to wrap it up. A friend is one who would not leave you when you are in crisis. When you are in crisis, they won't leave you and go. See, the ordinary people, the relationships, the moment you say you are in trouble, they back off. That is the quality of it. And how we identify a person to be a friend. Okay, sir, now I knew people. I got acquaintance. I got acquainted with somebody. Now I am debating. Am I to take him as a friend or not? How am I to? What is that I should see? You got to look into the factor of this. Is there any case history on the other person where, in spite of lapses that is there, that they have seen in the others, did they continue the relationship or left? Because every one of us have our own lapses in life. We lack something. We miss something in life. You are not going to be a perfect human being. There are some weaknesses we have. Some inadequacies we have. The moment that inadequacy is seen in somebody, did they stay with them in spite of that, or they walked out? What did you do? So long as you didn't knew about the weaknesses or the lapses in the other person, the wrongs that they have done, are you going to stay or you are going to leave? That's a great moral, debate, dilemma that is. Big dilemma that was. That's where we ask this question to ourselves first. What did we do with reference to our people the moment we got to know what they have done is is wrong. What they said is wrong. What they felt was wrong. What they thought was wrong. This thought is wrong. This statement is wrong. This attitude is wrong. Once we saw some inadequacies like that, did you leave them or you stayed there to correct, to assist? If you find a person who stood, that is the one Shakespeare calls as their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul, he says. In Hamlet, there's a beautiful advice. Polonius' advice is there. There he says, be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Be familiar with people, but don't become so familiar to such an extent where that familiarity leads into vulgarity. Don't do that, he says. The friends that has their adoption tried, grappled them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Their adoption should be tried. Their quality should be tested. You test the quality of your friend and then bring them to your fold. With such a friend, your life gets completion. You don't need 10,000 followers in Facebook. If you can have one friend like that in your life is made. One friend is enough, like that. Caesar had one friend, Antony, who covered up, who brought out what is the true nature of Caesar. One friend. One friend if this fellow has. What sort of a company? This is what we read in all the stories. What sort of a company you keep? Tell me who your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Why? Because we tend to take those people close to our fold. Who are they? Test them. Try their adoption. What is the factor, sir? One of the factors is this. The moment they got to know the inadequacies or the want, the lapses, the weakness of the other person, did they walk out or they stood by that person? But to that friend, what they will say? They will say exactly opposite. If you continue to do this, I will risk the relationship. He will speak. But will he leave and go? He will never leave. He will continue to stay there. But he would risk the relationship for the sake of the person. That is the superiority. That is the nature. That is the fragrance that we should carry with us. No point in putting all sorts of fragrances all over the body. The character of yours is shown from the friendship that you have. A basic quality of a human.